Okay, shall we move on to the next question? In the light of newspaper headlines telling us that food parcels are needed for families in Highland Council and in Nairn, do the panel think that Highland Council funding is misplaced? For example, supporting a week-long soil biodiversity event with glossy brochures and questions like, what future for the moles of Melvaig? Should funding be spent on basic needs in the community rather than things that pay high salaries to Highland Council employees? So, Laurie,
right, the story you mentioned about the food parcels, I don't think it's a true story, unfortunately. It's not a very good one. Because it highlights, it's bringing attention to a serious problem here. In respect of council funding, there is funding streams through social work for families in need. That is there, it's in place, and it is controlled by the social work. Obviously, there are some cases where people slip through the net, and food parcels are, from charity, are a benefit. In respect of, I think the other bigger problem here is it actually a national problem. It's not confined just to Nairn. It's all over Scotland. We've got sort of 40 food parcels a year. It's a week or a year. A week or a year, I can't remember. If we got 100 food parcels, sorry?
I think it was a week.
A week. If we got 40 food parcels a week, there was a lot more in Inverness, Invergordon, Edinburgh, Glasgow. And this is starting, this is possibly the thing, what is a very serious problem nationally. And it's really going to have to be addressed nationally by senior politicians. Quite surprised actually we didn't get responses from Mr. Ferguson and your Denmark.
We are quite surprised too.
Yes. Yeah, it's a problem because it is actually national. It's a national problem. In respect to your glossy brochure, I didn't bring with you. There's a glossy brochure produced on biodiversification. Council has to fund a whole section of areas right throughout the Highlands, from forestry, agricultural, sustainable, renewable energies. We have to go into a whole vast area, and what each of these areas does get specific funding. And to a great extent, it needs to be ring fenced beforehand, otherwise people just go and sort of raid it and leave nothing at all in this place. So it's a fair, it's quite fair to allocate cash to other areas.
As far as the brochure is concerned, yes, Highland Council does produce a lot of very glossy brochures, and I have challenged on numerous occasions the necessity for that. I mean, a lot of these things could just be sort of printed off on printer or photo. Still, as a volunteer at the NCAB for 16 years, I have seen firsthand the kind of poverty that there is underlying even in places like Nairn. As a money advisor for 7 years, I was helping these people. And the reality is that with the changes in the benefit system that we're now going to see, it is going to make it a lot worse. And indeed, I'm not sure how we can address this other than for the community to provide the support it does at the moment, but also to support CAB and the other organisations. I mean, £1.49 million is what goes into the Civil Rights Bureau network in Highland. That's been increasing over the last few years, and I think we really now need to look and see if that is really enough. But also, as I say, to look at other organisations within Highland that can provide the kind of support and the kind of support that people in these situations need. Because it's often not because they've done anything wrong, it's just purely and simply because they're unemployed or they really don't have incomes. So much of the work that is there nowadays is part-time, and with, as I say, the changes in the benefit system, that is going to actually make a profound difference and push a lot more people into further down that. Thank you.
I'm no stranger to working in areas of deprivation. I spent most of my working life working in areas of deprivation. Before I moved to the Highlands, I worked for several years in Ferguson Park, and some of you will know about the reputation of Ferguson Park. It's no secret, my own catchment area serves the only area of multiple deprivation in the Highlands. So it's a very sad reality that some people who live on the edge are just barely able to cope, and when you're in a recession, it doesn't take very much to push them over the edge when they need a little bit of help. And obviously organisations like Blythewood do a superb job enabling us to support these people. And I do feel that the council is going to have more of a hands-on approach in this area, because I do not see this recession ending anytime soon. It looks like it's going to be several years before we're out of it. As for the brochure, I had a look at the brochure for the first time this evening. It was referred to. I know it's actually funded by 6 organisations. I don't know enough about it, but I would have imagined that that particular event is going to be pulling people into the Highlands and maybe bringing money into the Highlands. So it might actually be something that actually net brings money in. So I wouldn't condemn something out of hand until I knew a bit more about it. I would have to say that central government produces lots of glossy brochures, which really are a total disgrace. I mean, I get 8-page booklets regularly through from central government and education, and they can put on one sheet of paper. You know, it's a total waste of money. We need to look at central government first.
I'm sure that many people here, if you read your Nairn on Monday night, it came as a shock, and it came as news to you that there was food parcels required and they handed out there. I find it deeply disturbing and very, very upsetting. At one level, bigger level, you're spending money on these brochures which a lot of folk would consider wasteful. There's a serious disconnect there between what's actually done and what folk think is value for money. So I can't do anything about that now. Hopefully I will be able to do something. But what I did do today, I went into the Citizens Advice Bureau and I spoke to the manager yesterday. I thought it was a good idea. Because I'm not one of these folk that write the mention and say something must be done. I tend to do things. I said, you go down to the supermarkets and Sainsbury's on a Thursday night and they're marking down the food. I said, there's not a school of thought to approach the supermarkets and say, guys, instead of spending money on JB order, should you not just be taking that food that's past its sell-by or marked down, or you're going to throw out or do something with it and actually handing it to Blythewood on a sort of regular basis. So I thought that was a really good idea and I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I'm not advocating that because something's past its sell-by there's no value, because some folks behind them may take offence. But folk, I've got ideas, I think that's a good move. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. I mean, I think the brunt of the problem is coming from the welfare reform act that's going through and the recession that the country's in just now. And the main concern that I guess I'm having is it's going to get worse, because some of those reforms may lead to homelessness and other issues that are going to be very difficult for our communities to deal with and for our council to deal with as well, because you know, there's a growing population that are in the red line just now. We need to do all we can to help and support the organisations that do provide the help to them.
Just a comment I should make is that those who are incumbent councillors will have information that others don't have. And I know that the people of Nairn, I can tell you, I can vouch as a minister here, you're fair-minded, so you will make allowance for the fact that some of the other candidates may not have the knowledge that some of the incumbent councillors have. So I just wanted to make that point.